Last time out in the Youth Academy Challenge Save, we figured out what the size of our stadium would be and what they'll call our new stadium, which will be built in 3 years' time. I'm just hoping that we'll get enough demand for the tickets that we can actually have the stadium capacity increase before it's even built to make things even bigger and better. But no luck, it won't happen, but it's wishful thinking on my part, honestly. Last year we won our 6th league title in a row, and I'm hoping to do it again to win our 7th league title. So it's just Motor Lublin down in the past with this column. I'm also hoping to win the Cup, Supercup and Cup treble for the very first time in the save. We're down to 2nd place in the predictions in the league season preview because of all the players that come back from their loan spells. The fact that they have a team in the Champions League are predicted to finish in 13th says a lot, I think. Sponsorship income, we are now in 3rd place, £2.4 million per year, which is still less than what we're paying our squad yearly, but hopefully with the stadium being built and the stadium will have its own little sponsorship thing, we can make it so we have the biggest of the bunch. Speaking of which, stadium's only going to be the 7th biggest in the entire country if we build it, so that's a thing. Today though, we're going to go over the players that we currently have at the squad, see how good they are and if we need to replace any of them. When I say replace any of them, I mean bring some players through the youth system to see if they're actually going to be good enough or really to send some of these players out on loan. Novak is still our best goalkeeper, there's no question about it. He's a star for the division. Hates big matches though, so I wonder what we can do with that. Philippe is our 2nd best goalkeeper and is considered a good goalkeeper for the division. He's wanted on loan by YAC, so I'm curious as to why they want him when they're actually really good. Unless they just sold their best goalkeeper, that might explain a few things. Yes, that would explain a few things. They actually do need him as a first choice goalkeeper. Oh my word. Well, we have a place to send him, and that's wonderful. First choice goalkeeper, YAC, one of our title rivals, and they can't use him against us. It's almost like it's made to be, isn't it? Patrick is still good though, a decent player for this division, which says a lot when he's a 2-star accountability player and it's a decent player for the division, but what can you do? He's inconsistent though, so there you go. And we do need to give him some more football outside of our division, so another loan spell could be really useful. Sakoi also needs more football, more development. He has potential. I don't think he's going to really meet it. But apparently he's only a 3rd tier goalkeeper anyway, so there's that. Could be a top flight goalkeeper in the future, but he does have some more room to grow. He just needs some better places, honestly, and first in football, which we can't give him. And then we've got Romario, who actually looks decent, just not amazing. Actually a 2nd tier goalkeeper, so we could send him out on loan and let him get some first team experience and then see what happens from there. But again, decent goalkeeper who has potential. I was cleaning through this earlier before I made this video today, and I thought I'll go through all the players that I plan on using these positions and go from there. Mateusz Kowalski is one of those players, and he's a 3-star accountability player who is considered a leading player for this division, so we have a good team here. Club Brugge and Gent want him. I don't really want to get rid of him though, so there's that. And he's consistent and likes big matches. Why would I get rid of him? But we've also got the likes of David Francic, who's also a 2.5-star accountability fullback who can play in the right back and left back positions. And he's a good player for his division. Yes, he's only a balanced personality, but that's fine. We can work with it. And he's inconsistent, but again, we can work with that. He has potential to be better, like a leading player. So hopefully he continues to improve in that regards. And we've also got Marcin Lipka, who is both a left back and a right back that I'm using on both wings. He's a good player for his division. He is inconsistent, mind you, and he can still improve. Just a slight amount, but he could definitely still improve. So as far as I'm concerned, definitely a worthwhile investment. I am ignoring the fact that Antwerp, YAC, and Union Berlin want him though. So we're going to the left back, and David Francic and Lipka have both been discussed already. And yeah, I'm just going to go over that and ignore them. And then we're going to go to Miha Niger. He is a good player. He's suspended for the super final, so there's that. And yeah, it says a lot really. He is a good player though, on 11 grand a week. He's resolute and he's not inconsistent. He likes big matches. He can't really get much better, but as far as I'm concerned, he's useful either way. Now the centre back position, and there's a lot of centre backs we can talk about here. We have already accepted a bid of a loan for this guy. And Jakob, I think, is going to be one of those players that needs the loan spell. And he was at Unis Academies last year, got 18 appearances in their division. He's already got a bid accepted from Zelina, so he'll be going out to them this year. And I think they're a good team to get the experience with. And he needs it because he's not good enough for us. And he needs it first from experience. That being said though, best player of the division, best player in the league, best player for us and in our team, Ernest is here. And he looks quite good, doesn't he? A leading player, a star player for us. And he's probably the best player in the country. A Polish international playing in Poland. Who would have thought it? And I'm happy we got him. An actual wonder kid who is considered the next gen contender. Makes me wonder how good he'll be in the eyes of the big teams. But I guess we'll never know. Right? We've also got Sebastian, who's considered a good player who could play in the right wing. I don't plan on using him there. I'm using him as a centre back, and why wouldn't I? He is a leading player for this division, consistent, and I think he could be a superstar again. So between Ernest and Sebastian, we got some really exciting young talent, both 19. He's one of my Schalke, Werder Bremen, Lech Poznan, and RB Leipzig, so definitely some exciting young talent to say the least. No caps for Poland yet, but I think he'll get there eventually. Michał Moder has got caps for Poland, but isn't a contender anymore for the first team, I don't think. He is considered a good player for the division now, and I thought he was a leading player. Apparently he's dropped off so much that he's not anymore, but a perfectionist who could definitely still do good things for us. I don't think he can get much better, sadly, but there you go. Consistent, likes big matches, he does his job. Victor Madura has been on loan for the last 2 years because he's been whining a lot. Lega Warsaw want him, so I might just send him over there and see what happens. A good player for this division, but has spent the last 3 or 4 years out in the Czech Republic at one point or another. We tried to give him some first team football before. He complained a lot, and yeah, we just sent him out on loan a few times, and it went from there. If only he didn't whine so much. He could have been a starter for us. He really could have been. That being said, I don't think it could have been because of the potential, but it's nice to dream, right? So probably shouldn't have sent this guy out on loan last year in the second division, but it is what it is. They're now promoted to the top flight. I could send him down to them again this year, but he has dislocated his shoulder, so he's not going to play for what anyway. Doesn't like big matches, is consistent fairly, but he could only be a good defender for the future anyway, so maybe I'm unlucky, but I don't know. I got to think about what to do with this guy. DM now, 4 players to talk about, and I think there's only going to be a few I want to really use, really. Damien Adamsuk can play as both a DM and a centre midfielder. He is considered a good player who could become a leading player, loves big matches, and is very, very useful. Definitely a playmaker though, and really suits the role we play with him. He is wanted by Union Berlin though. Borlak is a club legend and is always going to have a place in my heart and a place in this team for whatever reason or another. He's still a good player, still loves big matches, and is consistent, so he's useful. May not be amazing, but he's still useful. That being said, Dennis Naroki has played a few times last year and will get first team football. I need him to get to that potential I think he can get to, which is a star player. And I think this guy is going to be amazing if we give him the first team football this year, which is the plan. I plan on making him the starter this year, and that says a lot. But again, this guy's got great potential. I just need to make sure he gets to it. And then we've got Adam, who's also a good player who has a lot of potential as well, and actually could be sent out on loan to 1860 Munich or Vita Lord. So 2 good teams to go out to, I think. One in the top flight of Poland, the other in the second flight of Germany. So it really is a matter of who's the better place to send him to, isn't it? Centre midfield, 4 players to talk about, though I say 3 now because one of them I've accepted a loan bid for. Simon Smolek is not one of those. He's the starter as far as I'm concerned. A leading player for this division, likes big matches, is consistent, and it just makes sense to keep him. Schalke and Stuttgart cannot take him from me. Mariusz Jasinski is the other midfielder that is indispensable as far as I'm concerned, and he's still only 22. A leading player for this division, doesn't like big matches, is the only downside to him, but he's consistent and he can still grow. So I think we're sorted for a while in the centre midfield position. We just need to potentially let the younger players come through and develop. First team football is what Bernecki has been getting as of this moment in time. I've given him some first team football every now and again. Played him as a striker sometimes as well if I needed him to be. But a decent player first division could definitely improve. We'll get the first team football. Wanted by Lech Poznan and Porto. I don't plan on sending him. And it's just one of those things. But Michal Smolik, I actually accepted a loan bid for Kortrijk, and I think it makes sense in my mind to do so. I cannot guarantee the first team football. They're in the top flight of the Belgian league, and they need footballers. They need people that can help them out. And as far as I'm concerned, he can get first team football, regular first team football that I cannot guarantee here with that. So useful would be good for him. I hope he does well. If he accepts, of course. Right wing, this is going to be potentially controversial, but Davidovic is not going to be playing there as often as he has done in the past because I'm going to be using him as a striker. In the meantime, we've got this guy, Kotowski, who will be sent into the first team this year as one of the many players I'll try out in the position. Was at Cercle Brugge last year, did okay actually in the top flight of Belgian football, and he was in the first team before we sent out to Cercle Brugge, and I think he's ready again now. He's also only 22. He may not be able to get much better than a good player for this division, but he's definitely someone I'll use around every now and again. If he's not the starter, then he could be doing something else. Ren would take him on loan, so there you go. And again, we've got many different people like this guy. Could be good for the division. Was out on loan again last year in our division, and he did okay. He wasn't amazing, but he was not terrible to my standards, and I think a good player for his division. Yes, inconsistent, but he could definitely work, and I think he could do quite well if I was given the opportunity. Could also be sent on loan, so a lot of my players are wanted by 18-16 Munich, it seems like, so there you go. But then we got Radoslav, who is exciting, could be useful, and one of the reasons why I'm considering using Davidovic as a striker this year, I think this guy could be a star, a good player, consistent, and has a lot of potential that I want him to reach. Yes, he prefers to be playing as a winger, but I can use him as an inverted winger. If not him, I've got another player instead. We've got David, who definitely plays an inverted winger, and I think could be a star. Only downside with this guy is inconsistent, very inconsistent, but he has potential to be good, so I don't know what to do with him otherwise. He isn't also good enough for the division yet, so might need a loan spell first and foremost. Is wanted by Bayer Leverkusen though, so that's how highly regarded he is by teams around the world. But he turns 18 this month, so a loan spell could be what he needs. The right wing has got plenty of people who can talk about at this point in time, and Christian Kimmich is one of those. A star, a leading player for his division, but is upset because he couldn't join Watford again. I swear, he loves Watford more than he loves us at this point, and I don't know why. Is inconsistent though, and while he likes big matches, that could be a problem going forward, but hopefully he'll stop whining soon and he'll just continue playing for us. Jako Selinski was the other player we sent out on loan to Cercle Brugge last year, and I think could play first team football for us again, so he's good. He's got 10 goals and 41 appearances in the league for us over the years, and I think he could do quite well. Good player, loves big matches, consistent, and has a decent personality in light-hearted, so someone we can definitely use to say the least. And if not him, then we've got Thomas Bozim, who, while inconsistent, could be potentially really good, has decent potential, and I think he could still improve. He is a decent player for the division right now, so that helps. And then we got Naskoda, who I think could be useful still. Isn't good enough for division, but he's a leading player for the second tier, so really could be useful. And I think he could be a good player for the division in the future. But do I send him out on loan? That's the question now, isn't it? But now the strikers. Kimmich is listed here as is Bernecki, but Davidovic is my main striker for this year as far as I'm concerned. He's a leading player who I thought was a star. Apparently he's not a star anymore, but a leading player for his division. Loved by the fans. Determined. Really likes his stuff, but he's inconsistent. And you wouldn't have thought it, would you, over the years? But we've had to turn down bits for Sunderland already this year, and Hanover might try and poach him as well, but I think he's perfect for the striker role as he advances forward. But that's just me. I might be wrong. But I'm going to try in there anyway. And I think he could be a really good striker. I really do. It does mean that Kowalski at the age of 30 could be forced out of the team, and he's a good player. He's also consistent and likes big matches and is driven, but he's also 30. He's got 204 goals in 389 appearances. He's been so good over the years, but is it time to move him on and let the younger players come through and take his place? The same is said about Jasinski as well. A good player, a consistent player, but he doesn't like big matches either. And this guy could be one of the players that loses out because of all the players going through, and that's a shame. He's also 30, so might need to be moved on sooner rather than later. So what I'm going to be doing is ending this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video, and that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. I think we have to win the League Cup and Supercup treble at the bare minimum this year. The board want me to get to the league phase of the Champions League as well, and the board just want to win us to win everything now, because we've done it, and I want to win everything. So what else can I really pull off anymore? But let me know what you think I should be doing and how far I should be getting each competition yourselves. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions and all that down below. But anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.